Hi everybody, it is Stacy personally speaking, and I'm going to be talking about something a little different today from what my channel usually has to offer. Now, as you can see right in front of me, I'm standing before my stove, which I bought in August of this year. So that's about August, September, October, November, December, 4 months ago. 4 months ago. It is a Frigidaire 6-burner 30-inch stove. Frigidaire is a well-known brand, and as always, whenever I'm going to buy anything, I try to do some checks online. But it's usually very scarce to find these kinds of gas stove reviews online. So before it gets shipped off, let me run down the basic features of it. I do not have the terminology to describe these things, so it's best that you see with your eyes. Okay, here we have the grill, which is really heavy. It's like cast iron, so it's almost like an industrial feel. If you noticed, we have 1, 2, 3 small burners and 1, 2, 3 large burners. This is how they are attached. I hardly use this line over here, so it's going to be looking much better. But I'm not going to be going through all of them anyway. Very simple and easy to assemble, as you can see. The top is said to be stainless steel. I'm not familiar with stainless steel, so I'm not sure exactly what that was supposed to mean, because when it came and it had the blue plastic all over it, the very first time I removed the blue plastic, I saw little rust looking marks. So I'm not sure what exactly stainless steel is supposed to mean. Anyway, maybe it's a coat, I don't know. But when it came, it basically had some marks that, like this mark was already there when it came. So yeah, but I'm not sure of the quality. Mind you, it's Frigidaire, it's a good brand, well known, but like I use this middle burner the most, and you can already see some rusting going on here. Yes, from time to time I do have spillovers from here, but I always try to clean up. I don't use this as much, except for when I'm going to pressure something, which is rarely, but you can see already the breakdown of the materials. Yeah, you can see that already. I bought this at Quartz, or from Quartz, Unicomer they call them. And the main reason I've even gotten to the point of doing this video is because the oven does not work, or rather the thermostat is broken. So if you would have been on my WhatsApp story, you would have noticed from last week Sunday I was trying to bake, and one thing led to another, which led to me calling the technician. I love this oven because it had 2 grills. That's a rarity for ovens at all. It had 2 grills, which means I could do a lot more with those 2 grills. This is some kind of cover grilling thing for on top of the stove, which I've never used, never gotten to that point in the 4 months I've had it. So basically what was happening is when the stove, or the oven rather, was being lit, it was not staying lit. When the technician came, he moved the sensor that was at the back closer to the flame, and then it was staying lit. And so I sent the technician on his way. But when I was preparing to bake and I had it preheating, before it got to like 8 minutes or so, the oven turned off, much to my dismay. And so that is how I am now going to be returning this stove to Quartz. I think it's a good stove still. I would have rather the part be available and replaced, and by part I mean the thermostat. I don't know exactly how that is replaced, but in any event I opted to get a different stove, an exchange, but I did not want to get a Frigidaire again. Mind you, Frigidaire was not my first choice in the first place, and after hearing from the technician about his recommendations, I decided to go with a different brand altogether, which cost me a little bit more. Yeah, but I still think this is a good stove. One thing that I didn't like at all, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you. These grills, they do not facilitate round bottom pots very well. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look at this pot. It's a round bottom duchy. We all know it very well. Because of where the center is, it's not well designed, in my estimation, to hold the pot as well as I am used to. Right? In the beginning, I really struggled, maybe because now it has a lot of water in there. I really struggled to kind of balance this. Flat bottom pots are no problem, but I did not feel comfortable with a round bottom going right here. You see, this is the only support for that round bottom pot. So I was not very comfortable with that, but I got used to it after a while. While I'm talking about things that I did not particularly like, I will talk about the knobs as well. I did not like the knobs after a while because of how easily they seemed to turn on when I was busy in the kitchen area. Mind you, this stove is normally against the wall, but I'm preparing for it to go because they should be coming today. So I have my gas cylinder inside because I haven't made arrangements yet to pay to have it put outside. And it's a good thing because when I realized at some point that I would accidentally lean on a knob and it would turn, right? It does have to be pressed to turn, mind you, but it does it quite easily if you end up leaning on the stove. And the first time it happened, I did not have my gas turned off. So after that, I started turning the gas cylinder off just in case I ended up leaning on one of these knobs. But all in all, it's a beautiful design, very sturdy. It's good for family. Mind you, I am by myself right now, but it was working quite well for me in spite of the little nuances until I needed to bake and realized I could not. Would I recommend this Frigidaire 6-burner 30-inch stove? Yes, I would. But just be careful. Get your checks in early. And of course, that's going to really happen when you get home and connect it to a gas cylinder. And I mean, even with that point, I had the stove before I had my gas cylinder, so I couldn't even have made that kind of check. But according to the technician, it's something that you should pay for. You should pay for installation, and I guess the installation involves different checks and so on. This is Jamaica. I'm not right there yet with him, but I will keep that in mind. So I hope this has helped you if you need to make any decisions regarding stove purchases. I am no expert. I'm just telling you what I have experienced with this Frigidaire, and I hope that it helps you in your decision making. Thanks for checking out this video. Just another quick note about the stove. In terms of cleaning it, I've only used soap and water. You don't want to use anything to scratch the surface of the steel. Yeah, just avoid any kind of abrasion on it. This is really different from the enamel top stove that I'm used to, and using a Scotch-Brite on it to clean it. So not for this kind of stove, but try to clean up the spills as soon as possible to prevent any kind of discoloration and rusting. All the best. So thanks for checking out this video about the stove. I hope it was useful or informative. If you have any questions about that stove in particular, you can send me a comment, write me a comment below. When I get the new stove, I'll be doing another review of that as well. But as I said, I'm no expert at all when it comes to large appliances, but I realize there is just not enough resources online on YouTube about these that are here in Jamaica. So bye for now from Stacy, personally speaking. I cleaned up the stove for Quartz to come and collect it. Inside here is the oven, spotless but not very functional. Right at the back is the sensor which needed to be adjusted. This is me trying to hold down the sensor, the thermostat, for it to get the flame, and the flame was beautiful but not working well. And the top of the stove, it's beautiful. I'd give it another shot, but I'm not buying it again.
Like, share and subscribe. Put a comment below this. Check out the description.